Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Jules Leyhe. In today's lesson, I'm excited to teach you one of my favorite songs to play on slide guitar. It's very doable, it's really popular, and it's just a lovely melody to play on easy chords. That would be Angel from Montgomery. Specifically, this is Bonnie Raitt's version. The song was written by John Prine, and I love John Prine, but Bonnie's version is really perfect for open E tuned slide guitar. So I'm going to teach you that. Now, before I get into the lesson, I want to encourage everybody out there who has not already checked out my Derek Trucks Masterclass to check this out. I also have a Modern Blues Masterclass course. These are really designed to take all of your playing to the next level. You'll have these videos for the rest of your life after you make the purchase. You can also check out your signature Jules Leyhe Liquislide. In case you're new to slide guitar, this is my signature Liquislide, and I'd encourage everybody to check these out. Any purchases of this, either the courses or the slide, go directly to help fuel this YouTube channel. So thank you so much for your support. Now let's get into learning Angel from Montgomery. So the main thing is that it's in the key of E. And actually, just a quick fun fact, you might notice that I'm playing this beautiful Mavis. This is Mule Resophonics Mavis guitar. I'm borrowing this from a friend of mine, John Pace. And I'm just getting to know it and really love this thing. I see one of these in my future one day soon. So this is a new guitar. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you have not seen me play this. This is brand new to me. So now, Angel from Montgomery. It's in the key of E, and it starts out with this intro that's a very nice little exercise. This is just a great way of just sort of getting comfortable with settling into the groove of the song. And you can just kind of take your time like getting into it, with this little opening part. So that opening part goes from E to A, and it's a very specific fingering I'll show you. Let me just play it for a sec first, and then I'll show you what's going on. So here we go. Here's the intro to Angel from Montgomery. So this is basically a 1/4 vamp, right? E, A. And then all I was doing there was just throwing a couple of little super easy fill types of licks, right? To kind of like zhuzh the transition from the A back to the E. So what I'm doing is I'm hitting the open E chord, and then I'm hitting this A, which is fingered middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and then index gets the 1st fret of the 3rd string. And this is just, there's so much dynamic type of playing that you can get into with your digits doing the picking. I'm going to sort of explore a little bit of that, and I want you guys to copy this and just get comfortable telling the story with your hand, and specifically right now, I really mean your right hand. That's where the dynamics would come from, since that's where the plucking is coming from, right? So check this out. I'll just play that for a minute. Let's just get lost in it. I want you guys to feel like, this is just a super simple, doable part, but I want you to understand just how many different ways there are of actually making this come to life based on how you pick the notes, okay? So let me do that intro again. And I would just kind of model your playing after this and see just how, how much of a story you can tell with just these 2 chords in the intro. So let's get lost in the intro and just for a sec, and then I'll play the melody and I'll show you that part. So the only thing that I did there that's a little sneaky is at the very end, I moved this A chord up a whole step. Now this is basically a B, but there's some cool clashing notes here. Like we get the fifth and fourth strings, they're a half step apart. But in the context of the whole chord, right, it's really beautiful. So I love, that's sort of like a sneaky slide guitar, open E tuning thing that's available to you here with this intro. You could also see that I kind of ramped up the second half of the E to A, right? I was picking a little more like intensely, and I have a little bit of drive on my tone right now, but I'm definitely at that sort of edge of breakup setting where, if I play really softly, it's pretty clean. But then if I dig in, like, there's definitely some meat on the bone, right? There's some drive there. So that's kind of what I would recommend for this type of sound. If it's too clean, you're just not going to get the bite that you want when you really dig in. And if it's too distorted, you're going to have the other end of the situation, which is just it's too one-dimensional that way. So that's the intro. Now let's talk about the melody. And to me, the most important thing of the melody here is being able to choose your pitches really specifically. It's not as simple as do, re, mi. We're playing slide guitar here, and so we want to be able to play all of those little in between the nooks and cranny notes that in this case most specifically are between the second and the third. So let me demonstrate this for you. And also, I'm teaching this song because it's relatively simple. There are only a few chords, and it's really accessible. It's a beautiful tune. This is a great song to play if you don't know it already. But the melody kind of takes care of it, and you'll see in a sec that we play through the chords, especially on the chorus. But let me show you the melody right here, okay? So I'm going to play this up at the 12th fret, and this is mainly between the 4th and 3rd string. Sounds like this. Right, so that's the main verse. It's super simple, just happens over and over. This isn't about complex jazz chord changes or anything. This is a story being told. We're just supporting the lyrics here, right? That's why it's really nice to get a handle on this sort of thing. Now I'm going to play the chorus really quick, and then I'll break down the verse and the chorus, all right? So here is the chorus. The chords are E, D, A, E. That happens 3 times, and then the last time it goes E, D, A, B. Okay, you'll hear it, and if you know the song, you'll recognize this. But again, I'm trying to show this because it's relatively simple, and simple is not a problem when it comes to slide guitar. Simple is kind of where it's at. Simple gives us all this space to tell the story our own way by playing dynamically with certain like in between the nooks and cranny pitches, that sort of thing. You get what I'm saying. But here's the chorus to Angel from Montgomery, then we'll break it all down. So there you can see a lot of what happens is the melody notes literally fall on the chord that's happening. Like when we go E to D, make me an angel. Let's talk about the verse first. And again, to me, the thing about this is we're listening to the vocals. There are some little bluesy elements, the way that Bonnie sings this melody. It's not just da da da. It can be like, right? I gotta look down when I'm playing or I'm gonna play out of tune. Check this out. Um, the first line, I am an old woman named after my mother, right? It's this milking of that sort of it's not quite the major third. It's like just shy of the major third. That's where I like to play it at least. I just way overdid that 2 fret zone there because I'm trying to show you how many notes there are right there that are totally in play in this case, okay? So, again, super simple. And something that I really like to do is basically that's the framework. It's that melody right there. But over time, if you're going to actually play this, say, with a band or just on your own, when you're ready to sort of expand the melody and take it up, say a little bit more, make it a little bit more harmonically interesting, or, simply get out of just playing those few notes, then you can do things like this. This is all E major. So this is, if you're familiar with, or if you've watched like my Derek Trucks Masterclass, when I'm going over the Midnight in Harlem vocabulary, this is really like that to a T. And we're just playing Angel from Montgomery is all. But let me play the melody once more, and then I'm going to kind of elaborate on it and expand upon it the second time around, okay? This is the sort of thing that like it's really good to be patient when you're playing a melody like this and not just you want to do the melody justice and actually play it and then maybe expand upon it. So I'll do it 2 times, expanding upon it the second time around. I think you'll get what I'm talking about, okay? Right? You have permission to do that if you're really clearly understanding what the melody is. People like Bonnie, she's not singing this exactly the same way every single time at all. Once you know the melody, you can articulate different things. You can throw a little run in. I kind of did a little, it was definitely a Derek Trucks inspired slide guitar run there. I hope you heard that and could recognize that's kind of where I was going with it, right? So playing a melody like this, being able to actually play the melody just straight up is square one, right? But then throwing these little embellishments on is kind of step 2. And that to me is where you really get to sort of throw your fingerprint on this and go, oh wow, okay, Jules played this because I recognize he does that sort of thing, So I hope that helps sort of, this is not just with this song, but this is just with music in general. But this is a great song to work on this sort of thing on, right? So that's the main melody during the verses. And when you're listening to the original recording, you should hear all of those little, sometimes she'll really like emphasize that flat third. It might be like this. It'll be like Hear how, it's not a blues lick like, it's not, but it just has that bluesy flair. It's got that just right amount of blues to it. That's sort of the magic zone to me. It's being able to be really in control of that so that you just sound at any given point, you can dial up the blues amount of your playing just to where you want it, dial it right back. Now, another thing, you probably know this about me by now, but I'm definitely using my volume pedal. My foot is making a lot of the dynamic stuff happen, along with how I pick the notes with my right hand, sure. But, this sort of thing. My foot's doing a fair amount of just the notes kind of having this breath like quality to it. I try to avoid playing things just really kind of flat, and I really like to, give some sort of over hill and dale, just playing very dynamically with a melody. That sort of thing is kind of different when you're playing chords and if you're comping. That's where you want to sort of be part of the rhythmic bed, which is less up and down. There might be some up and down to it, but if you're part of the foundation, like we want a strong foundation. So that's kind of less a time when I'm rocking the volume pedal. That's actually a really good thing to know is this is mostly for like soloing or up front, if you're playing a melody or something. That's when I really like to get the most out of my volume pedal. I also have an old video about how I use the volume pedal that's just really diving into that stuff more. So if you haven't seen that, be sure to check that out. We can put a link to that video in the description below too. But now, last thing with this tune for today is, let's say you're not playing the melody, but you just want to play the chords. Something that I might do, and I'll demonstrate this for the verse first, and I'll just play right into the chorus. I'm going to kind of lightly, this is kind of like mimicking the intro, where I'm just sort of picking any of the notes. Since we're in this open E tuning, all of the strings are fine to pick. I'm mostly concerned with the dynamics that I pick these notes with, okay? More than, which exact little string. If I was trying to record something, I might get more specific about, or if I'm like I'm at a band practice or something, we really need to like have something dialed in. I'll take the time to really make sure that we're all on the same page, everything agrees. But in this case, just having your playing the right chord is kind of the most important thing. You'll see what I mean. It can come out a little differently each time, and that's okay. Here is playing the chords only through the verse and then going into the chorus, all right? Here are a couple of ideas. Hope this inspires you guys to, try some things out like this. So here we go. Okay, so there are a number of options, but they're all major chords. You could just play E, D, A, and E, or E. right? There are some other ways of playing those chords around the neck, but if you're just getting started, or if you just don't simply want to work that hard or think too much about it, which is totally cool, by the way, especially with slide guitar, it already sounds cool to just go. That's really cool. That's great. Um, but now, if instead of just broad strokes strumming the chords like that, you can do little things where maybe you hit the first chord, uh, on the downbeat, you hit the chord, and then you pick some of the notes. You sort of arpeggiate on the next beats, like this. Okay, so I kind of kept going there just to show you how one part can lead to the next. And what I would do if I were you at home is try jamming along with the recording. It can be a bit much at first if you're just getting to know a song to just kind of play it out of thin air and not have the actual thing there or any sort of reference points, right? So playing along with this is a great way to get comfortable with all these techniques. You can try something, and guess what? If it doesn't work, if it kind of sucks, the track keeps going and life goes on. But I can't tell you guys how many times I've, just totally made a stupid mistake, fell flat on my face, figuratively speaking. And you know what? I'm here to tell you the story. So that's really how you improve, how you figure out what works for you, that sort of thing. So also, this was not perfect. Maybe a lot of what I just did was cool, and maybe it seemed perfect or great, but there were a couple of just little mistakes or things I made. And, that's part of the process. I think overall it was damn good. And I'm definitely happy with it. But I'm always working on all these things that I'm telling you guys about too. I didn't finish that a long time ago, and now I'm just chilling. My work is cut out for me, and I'm working on it every single day. So that's kind of the big picture here. And that wraps up this lesson. I hope that you really enjoyed it. If you already know this tune, I hope that, now playing it brings you some joy. But if you didn't know it before, it's a great tune to check out and have in your back pocket in case you do things like go to open mic jams, just play music with your friends, any of that stuff. This is a great learning opportunity with this song. So I hope you enjoyed learning Angel from Montgomery. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm putting videos like this out all the time. We're working on a bunch of big things that are coming out soon. I'm going to keep that in my back pocket. But we've got a lot of things that are right around the corner. I'm excited to share with you guys. And we just want to thank you all for joining me today. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.